Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm good, Jack. Nice to talk to you again, my friend.
Thank you. Same here. How's everything in Texas?
I think today is supposed to be around 82 degrees, so it's sunny with no humidity. So I'd say pretty doggone good.
Yeah. Some places snowing already. It's
Oh,
November.
no.
We're in November.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I sent you a video of the incident that everyone's talking about. It's the guy's
Yeah.
skate flew up and killed the guy. He was a Penguins player. I wanted your
Yeah.
thoughts on that.
I appreciate it because that's the first time I've seen it because they talked about it a whole lot. It's the first time I've seen it. I think there should be investigation of that because I just don't think that it was an accident. How does a guy kick his legs up that high and knowing that it's not going to be, even if he got in the face or somewhere else, not going to be injured? That was just stupidity, first of all.
Yeah.
I just don't think that it was unintentional. I think it was intentional. I don't know if it was intentional to kill him. I don't know about that part, but obviously the results were that, and he's got to pay the consequences. That's just
Yeah.
you can't do that. I mean, you put somebody else's career in jeopardy, even if you like him or don't like him. You don't do that. It's just like when I was had a couple scraps here and there. When guys go gouge at your eyes, are you kidding me? What are you thinking? Well, why would you want to gouge somebody's eyes?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. It's mind boggling what somebody would do in that kind of situation. And I think it was awful. It was awful to see. I had to play it back a couple times to really see how bad it was. It was bad, Jack. It was real bad.
And I think it's going to ruin hockey as far as now everybody has to wear neck guards because of this incident. Every league probably. I bet you NHL too.
Yeah, well, it's going to get to that point. A lot of kids now in minor leagues the young kids have to wear them everywhere they go. Mm-hmm. My grandson in Canada has to wear one all the time, which is fine.
Yeah,
I don't mind that part. But remember the time where they didn't have any nets and the puck went up and killed a girl in Columbus, Ohio?
That's right.
All of a sudden, the nets come up. And I don't mind that. Protection-wise, I don't mind that. But I think it should be up to the players if they want to wear neck guards or not. It shouldn't be mandatory. It should be just like face guards.
Yes.
I don't know what the insurance purposes of that for the league. If they get a better rate for insurances, because I know insurance is going to be very high for professional athletes and teams. Yeah. But I think it should be up to the players. I think also wear a helmet, but to wear a visor or not wear a visor should be up to the players to decide what they want to do that.
Yeah, Sweden, we had to wear a visor if you're born after 1970, and then neck guards. I had to wear them over there for 3 years when I played at the pro level. Everybody, because 3 people died from hip checks where the skates come up and cut.
Wow.
And there's a lot of hip checking with the wide open ice compared to North America. You don't see that often.
Yeah.
At least once a game. Once a game, there was a hip check where a guy's flying. So it is scary. But I just think that I agree with you. They should let the players choose. But maybe at the younger levels before Pee Wee, all the kids should wear neck guards because they're a little bit not in control of their skating, all that.
Yeah, and I think it's just like the shields. Once you get used to it, you're used to it. It doesn't bother when you go higher leagues if you want to wear it or not. Like for me, I never had one, and for me, them to put restrictions on it, I think it would hamper my play a little bit. Trying to see the puck through the visor, I don't know because I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
But once you grow young, you're young and you grow into it. You just get used to things, and it's just natural for you. So I have no problem with that for the young kids wearing it for safety purposes and getting used to it, wearing it to a higher level. But don't force it on them.
Yes, it's like everything else
at a higher level.
Yeah, I agree. Did you ever notice the sticks coming up more since more players have worn visors from the days that they didn't wear them?
Absolutely.
I agree.
How about the days when they had no helmets? Did you ever hear of a whole lot of concussions going on?
No.
I think players had respect for other players when they didn't have helmets. When they're going to the boards, they wouldn't hit them that way. They'd hit them the safe way where they didn't hurt them, hit their heads on the boards or in the glass.
Yeah.
It was just totally different. They had respect back in the old day. Now it's just like, I want to go out there and hit you and try to hurt you so you won't play the game. I know it's changed a lot. And now you have to but the equipment is so light nowadays. My gosh.
It's way
Yeah, they give me a new pair of skates here in Dallas because I do hockey camps. And I have to hold the skates down. They're so light, they just fly by themselves.
You like the leather skates better or no?
I don't care.
No.
Just give me anything. I don't care. I'm not particular anymore. As long as it doesn't hurt my feet, I'll wear it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the respect is not there. I just saw like 2 days ago, came on my feed, the guy cross-checked. The guy was already down. He came from behind and cross-checked him in the neck onto the ice, like doing push-up style. And just that's right there, no respect anymore in the league. You're right. I don't know. Maybe we should get rid of the instigator and maybe let the guys fight so they don't try to do that, or, you know.
The only thing I agree with Lubinecki, the coach, my general manager when I was in Saskatoon Blades. They asked him about violence in hockey. He says either you castle it right out, or you got to go and put more seats in the building.
He was all about fighting, that guy. He liked that.
You liked it tough. We had spring camp one time, and every shift there was a fight. I had to finally go down there and say, guys, okay, I see you're aggressive. You like to fight. Let's see if you can play the game now.
Yeah.
Wow. Every shift there was a fight. I go, oh my gosh.
I want to ask you, so how did you get into coaching? So you played for the Blackhawks most of your career. You were captain for how many years?
I was the captain there for a little over 3 years with Chicago. Then I went to LA. First time in my life I got traded to LA, and it was just a shocker. But I loved LA. I got there and I loved it. I was captain there for a year and a half. Actually 2 years, 2.5 years. And then I went to Pittsburgh and became a captain there for a year and a half. But I always had in my mind that hockey was, in my blood. Like, I just wanted to be around it. And if I couldn't play it, the next best thing is to coach it. So in my latter years, I kind of took pointers off each coach that I had, the ones that I liked. The pointers that I liked, what they did, that I really liked, what they how they present themselves or how they handle themselves under different circumstances. And I kind of put that in my memory bank. So when I became a coach and had the opportunity to coach, I used that to try to benefit myself as a coach and benefit my players to be the best they could be.
Yeah, you did that for us. I was there for 3 weeks.
Thanks, Jack.
You were my coach, and I had fun in that time. It was it was very serious. That's what I wanted. The hockey was serious. It wasn't. The guys weren't really messing around. Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks. Thank you for everything you did.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
And we had my roommate was Jared Bednar. He's currently the coach of the Colorado Avalanche. How was it to coach him?
You know what? I remember him, but he was very kind of a quiet guy. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't say a whole lot on the ice or the dressing room. He was just a steady Eddie. He was the type of guy that when the game was on the line, you kind of want to have him out because he made that good play, or he blocked that shot, or he started the play up the zone and came up and made good plays. But he was really quiet. It was hard for me to get to know him very well because he was so quiet.
Yeah. And did he play defense for you or forward?
Yeah, he played defense.
Defense, okay. Yeah. But he worked hard though. He was a good. Good attitude.
I had no question there. Like, he was a good player. Just that he was real quiet. It was hard for me to talk to him or to discuss things, or him to ask me questions because he was so quiet. Yeah. I always had to ask him questions instead of him asking me questions. Mm-hmm. I used to go up and say, well, what do you think about this situation? What should you have done? Instead of me coming to me and say, you know what? I didn't know what to do in this circumstances. What should I do? Then we go over and I discuss what you should do. But I always had to go to him. He didn't come to me. A very quiet guy, which is fine. Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
It's better than being allowed not knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's true.
But he's a good solid player. Good size at that time, too.
Yeah, it's like 6'2" or something like that. He was.
Yeah. I liked him. him.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah. Did you?
I had a lot of guys. I had a lot of guys actually. I coached that actually ended up coaching the NHL.
Who else?
Amazing. I had a guy, Richard Matvichuk.
Oh yeah.
Coaching. I coached him in Saskatoon. He went up to coach in the NHL. In the International League, I had a guy named Scott Arneal. He was a playing coach for me. Dave Tippett, my first year in Houston, he was a player. Then he became my assistant coach in Houston. Yeah. Don Granado, this with Buffalo now.
Yeah, Tony's brother.
I had him in Columbus, and his assistant coach Jason Christie. I also had him in Columbus.
Oh.
Brad Trilliving, I had in Columbus. He's the general manager now of Toronto. I had him also in Columbus.
Wow, a lot of guys.
yeah, it's nice. But and then I had Mike Yeo in Houston too. He played, but he had trouble. He had injury-wise. He didn't play very much, but he became a really good coach. When I was coaching in Laredo, he asked me when my season was over to come back and help him escape the Black Aces, the young kids that came up and the guys that were hurt. There was two groups, and he asked me to coach one group and make sure they're in shape and ready to rock and roll if something happened to the main squad of injuries or suspensions in the playoffs. And that was great. I had so much fun. The guys are so good. Mike Yo is a really good guy and a really good coach. Really good coach.
He was a good player, too. I saw him play.
Yeah, he was. He was a hard-nosed player, man.
Yeah.
He come to play. You know what? You get in his way, he's going to ram you over. And he's going to get that loose puck in the crease. He'd knock people over to get it. And he was a tough kid, too. The only thing is he had injuries all the time.
Oh, well, the way he played.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who do you think picked it up the quickest as far as the coaches? Would you say Dave Tippett or which one would you say picked it up the quickest from learning from you?
Dave had a good idea. Dave had a good situation and good hockey sense. Mm-hmm. We discussed a lot about different things that we had to do, but you could always tell that he was pretty bright at it. Scott O'Neill's the same way. Donnie Granado, I didn't know he was going to become a coach, but he had patience to become a coach. Obviously, his name didn't hurt him at all either. No. Granado family is very influential in the hockey world.
Yeah.
But he was very smart, Wisconsin boy. But he had patience as a player. And I didn't know he was going to be a coach, but I knew that if he would become a coach, he'd have that patience and that drive to be a good coach for a number of years. And I hope him success. I like his team, and I hope he has a lot of success.
Yeah, he's trying to turn it around. I think he's doing a good job.
I think he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. And as far as players that you've coached over the years, did you see any players that could have played in the NHL but never got their chance?
Yeah, well, I had one kid that was in the American Hockey League, and he quit hockey.
Oh.
And then I got him. He went to the reserve in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. And Ron DeLorme, the guy I used to play hockey with in Swift Current, called me and said, "You got to get this guy out of retirement. He's a great hockey player." So I called him and I said, "Ash," it's Blair Ashton. And I said, "Ash," let's have fun. I said, "Come on to Columbus. There's a ticket for you at the airport. Come down here. We'll put you in a place. Have some fun. We need you to have some fun. If you don't like it, I'll fly you right home. No problems." Mm-hmm. It wasn't the money factor at all, but he played so well. He got hat tricks and 2 goals, another hat trick, another 2 goals, 3 assists. He played for me for a while, and Springfield needed some players, and all of a sudden they called him up. He played for Springfield, him and a guy named Clayton Young. Mm-hmm. And he was Clayton. The only thing that Clayton was hurting was maybe his skating a little bit. Mm-hmm. But those 2 guys went up to the American League and they averaged 1.5 points a game.
Wow.
They weren't supposed to make the playoffs and did, which really screwed me around because I had a really good team that year in Columbus, like a really good team. Mm-hmm. Missing them and a guy named Mark Wolf who got called up also to play with Springfield, and that really hurt me. You lose your top 3 players and it's going to hurt any team anytime, and that hurt me in the playoffs. But they're good hockey players, and they went on to do some good, and I was proud of them. Yeah. There's a couple other guys that I had. Phil Crow.
Oh, I remember him.
Phil Crow, big tough kid. Yeah. I had him in Columbus, and again, he wasn't finesse, but he was tough. And I remember the one time we were playing against, where was it? In Ohio, Dayton. And they said that Detroit was coming down to watch them. And Dayton didn't have a very tough team. They had one guy that was fairly tough. Mm-hmm. So, they were scared of us because we had a really tough team. And all they did was dump the puck, and we came and rushed. And I think it was 5 to 6 to nothing. I think they had 7 or 8 shots. after 2 periods. It was
Wow.
incredible. So his last 5 minutes of the game, I kind of tapped Crozy on the shoulder and I said, Phil, Detroit's here. They don't want to see if you can score or not. What do you think? He goes, I got you. But I felt sorry for the other guy. I really did. After the game, actually during the altercation, I felt bad because Phil was so tough. And they got an altercation and Phil just, did what he had to do. And the next day, I got a call from Detroit. He said, we want Phil Crow. And that's the last I seen of him. He went up and stayed up.
Wow. Yeah.
But he
Remember
was
that,
a tough son of a gun, boy. A great kid, too. Great kid.
Yeah.
There were some other guys like Mike Amadio. I had him in he got drafted by, I think, Florida or Phoenix. I can't remember which one it was. But he came down to me. But this guy could score goals, and he was tough. He was like 6 foot, but really tough. But he had like 20 goals for me. So he was. I'm surprised he never got a chance to go up to a higher league. And I don't know if you remember Darren Bader from Saskatoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he was a good, hard-nosed player that could score, and I thought that he'd have a good chance of going up to a higher league to play in American League or possibly NHL someday. But it never did occur. And I was kind of disappointed in that because I thought he had a good chance of doing that.
Do you think it's sometimes they miss the guys or they make a bad decision as far as the general managers at the higher levels?
I really do. I really think so. I think they don't give the kids enough chance to prove themselves at times. You go into camp and you got a week to prove yourself. I mean, wow, that's not much time to really prove yourself. Mm-hmm. And some guys are game players and some guys are practice players.
Yeah.
Like I played with guys that unbelievable practice players. And I'm going, why is this guy not scoring 30 goals a year? It's freaking unbelievable. When it comes to the game, you don't look at his number. You can't find his number anywhere. Mm-hmm. He's not there. He's kind of invisible. And then there's guys that were horrible players, practice players, not horrible, but not good practice players. But it comes to the game and, man, wow, that's a good play. Wow, he went hard to the net. Well, good check, good position. Yeah. It's one of those type of situations. And you got to let them play the games. You got to let them feel comfortable in their surroundings for them to be productive and show them what they can do to be a good player and help you win hockey games. And I think sometimes they're not looked at the way they should be looked at.
Yeah. Would you see? I was telling someone the other day I would get rid of the draft and open it up where 500 to 1,000 guys go to any team they want. And because at the lower levels, midget or junior, sometimes the coaches don't play the guys, so they never get seen. What do you think of just opening it up that anyone who played junior hockey or college, legitimate college, can get a tryout at least once? And at least everybody gets seen.
You know what I think? I think they should. I think the coaches should dictate who they should go somewhere. See, the only thing about letting it open for free, like everybody wants to go. Let's say they come to Dallas. Nice organization is great. What happens is if you open it up for everybody wants to come down to Dallas to play, and all of a sudden you get 2,000 kids here, and then you get 1,000 kids or 100 kids go to Winnipeg or to Edmonton. I don't know if I like that part, but I wouldn't mind opening up for a situation where they're for the Western Hockey League, all the kids that are eligible for a draft.
Yeah.
To have a camp where for the whole week, not just 1 or 2, the whole week they scrimmage.
Yeah. You can see everybody.
They scrimmage.
I think everybody needs to get seen.
Yeah, and then the coaches may have to have a draft because if there's like 5 really good guys, then obviously everybody wants to have them, and that's where the only thing you have to do is have somewhat of a draft to make it like fair for everybody.
Yeah, but what about you see the scouts go everywhere, and it's only like 10% of the guys from the draft make it, and they miss a lot of guys. Like Datsu got missed 3 times before he got picked. I hear stories like that. Panarin never got picked. So what I say is open it up. Maybe there'll be a lottery system where, your name goes to certain team. There's not like even amount of players on each club, and they'll pick the top 50 to main camp, and they can cut you in the first 5 minutes if you're not good enough. Stuff like that. Right. At least it's fair because what's happening, maybe there's money under the table to bring these guys up. Who knows? And Well,
I think sometimes agents have a big say on how they're drafted and where they want to go and that kind of stuff. And players that don't have agents probably are more vulnerable not getting drafted or getting drafted high enough.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, it's got to be something going on. Yeah, I think everybody should have a more fair of a shot at it,
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. We're gonna have to sit down and have a glass of milk and discuss this.
Yeah. I want to ask you if anything interesting happened over the years that people don't know about when you played in the NHL or you coached.
Coaching wise, player wise, I kind of had a boring life. Nothing really exciting happened. I don't think that I can think of. And I was trying to think of it earlier. What it was, coaching was a little bit different though. I had more control of the team and what we did and what we didn't do. There's times where we came off a road trip and we practiced that as soon as we got off a trip. There's times where we played a home game and we got embarrassed, where I come across the dressing room and I say, I'm loosening them, boys, but don't take them off. And then I go put my sweats on and we go for another half an hour, 45 minutes of skating and make sure they got the message that we don't get embarrassed at home. Mm-hmm. I did that a couple times. Saskatoon, we got embarrassed in Swift Current and we came home and we couldn't go on the ice because they had some sort of display something on there, so we couldn't get any ice. So we ran the stairs. We ran the stairs for an hour, and they had to do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups. Then they had to go to school.
Wow.
I had to say one time was funny. Our team wasn't doing very well. We weren't passing very well, working very hard. So they were on the boards, and I just blew the whistle, and I went right to center ice. And I went from one end of the rink net to the other end of the rink. Went to the end of the rink, come back, and I went to the middle. I said, I just watched you son of a guns do nothing for 20 minutes. Now you're going to watch me do nothing for 20 minutes.
Oh.
Back to the net, back to the other net, back to the other net. I didn't do it for 20 minutes, mind you, but I think they got the point pretty well. So there's one time we had a kid that just wouldn't shoot. He just wouldn't shoot. Open net, he tried to make a pass.
Oh, man.
So in practice, I said, you got to shoot. And I put a tape where that hand, because he always had it too low. And I said, this is where you have to have your hand, right here. So I taped it on a stick, and where he held the stick in his hand. And we had a practice, an open-ended pass. I grabbed the stick and I threw it in the stands.
Whoa.
And I said, the way you play, you don't need this stick to shoot and score. Now go ahead and kick the puck and try to make plays. Just beautiful thing. We had supposed to have. It was an all-star game in Laredo, and we weren't playing very well. So the guys, they're in the rink, they're having a meal and a meeting upstairs, and I was on the ice with the players, skating their butt off. I reward player teams that play well, and I discipline teams that don't play well. Mm-hmm. We play on the road and we don't play well. We'll watch the video. We usually watch movies or whatever. We watch the video, and if there's somebody didn't do well, they made a mistake that cost us a goal, I'd play back. Mm-hmm. Then I'd play back again, slow motion, play it back again until the player says, okay, I got it. So then we went to the next play, next move.
Wow.
I guess I was rough on the players at times, mm-hmm. but at least they knew that I was there to win, not just to collect a paycheck.
Absolutely. I want to ask you this, and you can answer if you want or not. Today's players, will they be able to handle that kind of coaching like what you did to those guys back then? Because I hear a lot of coaches that are getting terminated for, you know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a different ballgame now. You almost got to coddle them. You know, you got to be like their friend, mm-hmm. to have that to a point. It's changed. It's just changed.
I got to ask you, what do you think it is that made it change?
Well, I think the players are starting to revolt against it. You know, you can't call me that. You can't say that to me. You can't do that. It's just the culture nowadays. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no hitting in hockey hardly anymore.
Yeah.
There's no scrapping in hockey anymore. It's all speed and finesse. And again, I guess some guys can get away with it, get on the players or whatever, and they have to accept it. Mm-hmm. But it's just changed. Herb Brooks came into Minnesota, and I at first I didn't care about Herb. He didn't play me very much. Mm-hmm. But after a while, he did play me, quite a bit, and we got along very well. And he tried to intimidate the players in the NHL, and it just didn't work. The players didn't didn't get on with the intimidation. They were pros and they got paid to play, but they just weren't intimidated like they would in college.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of not a downfall. We had too many injuries to be a downfall. I mean, you couldn't blame the coach. Our injury protocol was absolutely horrendous, just horrendous. One or two guys a game. They were calling guys up from the minors. We had more of an American Hockey League team than we did an NHL team, and he wasn't to blame. Yeah. But we didn't have a very good season, and the owners fired everybody, which screwed me up because I left Pittsburgh to go to Minnesota to play 1 year and then become assistant coach the next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a college team. It was a different mindset with the college players, and they were, the miracle game got him. Was a big thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it was huge. It was huge. It's probably one of the biggest feats in hockey ever.
In sports, I think they said it's the number one thing, and out of the top 100, I think it was 100, the number one best moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jack. I totally agree. I think so too.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that was unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable. which I'm very proud to see.
Yeah, you were in a game once when the two coaches were going to fight each other. It was Herb Brooks and Jacques Demers. Do you remember that happening?
Yeah. The coaches are always spouting back and forth, and they're going to fight and all that kind of stuff. Take it with a grain of salt because they try to intimidate somebody, and the coach and team try to get their team going the right direction. And it was just all talk.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Herb was pretty good at that, by the way, talking. So
Jacques
I think it was up to talking. He won.
I want to ask you, when did you have the curfew? What time was it for the players normally?
In junior, junior they had school. They really didn't have a curfew, but I think it was like 11 o'clock. Everybody had to be at 11 o'clock in their night before in their own room, in their own place at 11 o'clock at night. And some guys had said, the show isn't over till 11:15. I said, fine, as long as you're home by 11:30, as long as you're not at the bar doing stupid things. If you have the show, I have no problem. But they were pretty good. There's a couple of guys that messed up a little bit and had to pay the consequences. One guy had in junior, and I think we talked about this before we came on the air. His curfew was 9 o'clock every night. I'd call him, he'd call me, and then I'd call him back to make sure that he wasn't messing around.
That's funny. Yeah. So there was also you had what was it? I wasn't tell you. What was the coach like in Chicago when you played? Orville Tessier.
That's the only coach I did not like.
Really?
I disliked him more than any other. I liked every coach that I had. Good, if they were good coaches, bad coaches, I liked them because they were good people. Tessier wasn't a good person.
What about Pat Quinn?
Love Pat Quinn.
That was in L.A.
He'd tell you right off the hip, get your butt in gear. We need you. You're not doing it. Okay, Pat, you got it.
Yeah.
Somebody up front tell me the truth, I have no problem. When a guy tells me a lie and then lies about it again, I have no respect for him. That's what Tessier did. And I had no respect for him. Yeah. None. And you can tell the Chicago Blackhawks playing in the finals had no respect because when he said it's going to the hospital, get heart transplants for the players. Never should have said that. The whole team died on him. They quit on him.
Yeah.
And he was the reason why they didn't win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you guys had a hell of a team.
Yeah, well, I got traded when he came in here because he lied to me. So I was there for 3 games. I got a goal and assist in 3 games and never played again. I was the captain of the team, and I never played. He just outright lied to me. So I have no respect for him. No respect for people who lie and cheat on me.
Yeah.
But every other coach I liked, if they're honest to me and tell me the way it is, I have no problem.
Yeah.
Don't lie and cheat on me, you sucker.
Yeah, not good.
Not good enough.
No. If you had to do it over again, what would you do different? Playing or coaching?
I wouldn't have had my knee surgery done in Chicago.
Okay.
That took me back. Even though I may miss, 10, 11 games during the season because my leg was really loose, and every time I get hit on a certain way, it'd be sprained and I'd have to sit out. That took me back 3 years.
Wow.
They put in training camp, every second day they drained my knee. It was swollen up like a balloon.
Ooh.
Then it drained my knee. Now, it wasn't the surgeon's fault. He did a great surgery. And I have, now I'm supposed to have arthritis, and it doesn't bother me that much at all now, so I'm happy for that. But it took me back 3 years. A big brace. I couldn't turn.
Oh, man.
I was always worried about it. It took me until L.A., my last year in L.A., where I finally got a different brace where I took it right off, and I started playing the way that I was capable of playing, and I started producing, more goals and assists. But that was a big downfall, man. That son of a gun. That I should have never done it. And Bob Pulford, I loved Bob Pulford. Don't get me wrong. He's the one that talked me into it because he didn't want me to sit out, those games that I played.
Yes.
And that brought me back a long ways. That hurt me.
Not good. Was there any coaches over the years that asked you for advice when you were captain of the teams that you played for? Yeah,
there was. We had in Pittsburgh, Bob Berry was coaching me in Pittsburgh, and we had, I think it was the U.S.-Russia tournament or some sort of Olympics were on. We had 10 days off on our schedule, and he brought me. What do you think? And I said, you know what? I said, have the guys worked hard for you? He goes, yep. I said, I agree. We've been working real hard. I said, give the guys 3 to 4 days off. He goes, come on. I said, Bob, I said, this is a time for them to have a break. Have a break. Go wherever you want. Go back to Canada. You want to go to Hawaii. Go anywhere you want to go. Stay here if you want. Do whatever you want to do. Go for 3 days, 4 days. Oh, no way. No way. I said, Bob, I promise you they'll come back and skate hard. I'll make sure of that. He says, really? So I went down the dressing room and said, guys, they all sat around. If I can get you 3 or 4 days off, not come down the dressing room, like go everywhere you want to go, away from hockey, would you promise to come back and work hard? Go, Rusk, are you freaking kidding me? Absolutely. So I went up. I said, the guys are in. The guys are in. You got them. 3 or 4 days off. He goes, 4 days off. I'll give you 4 days off.
Wow.
I said, okay, you got it. We came back. We worked our butts off, man. We worked hard. We won 5 out of 6 games that we played.
Wow.
5 out of 6 games. He passed me on the ass one day. It's a nice call.
You're a great captain. No wonder everybody liked you, Terry. Wow.
Well, some people didn't think so, but I tried my best.
Was everybody on board, even Mario?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mario was all set for it. He liked it, to get away, just do nothing for a while. Yeah, he was all in favor. He liked that. Yeah. Mario was my line mate, my roommate too, so I had control over him.
So you trying to teach him? Was his English any good or no?
Well, without that year he was pretty good, but he started to get better. But I was like to make sure he got on time on the bus, got on time for the game, got on time for practice and on the room, and make sure he didn't go out and do stupid things. I had to be with him, and then on the ice try to protect him. Also, nobody hurt him, but anything else. But I sat next to him in the dressing room, and he, of course, all the media would come to him and ask him questions. And there's times where he said something. And I go, no, that's not what he meant. He meant this. He goes, yeah, Terry, that's just what Terry said. That's what I meant.
Nice of you to help him.
Yeah,
nice.
but then he got better and better, and then he was off and running. And he had no problems after a while. He worked out his English and got it down pretty good.
Yeah. Do you still keep in touch with him?
Not so much anymore.
No.
I don't keep in touch with a whole lot of guys. Rich Preston, I played with Houston together, Winnipeg together, Chicago together. So we just had our 50th reunion, Houston Aero reunion last month.
Oh, how nice.
It was nice to see the old guys again. And I'm old.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And he was there. We had a good time. Good time by all.
Yeah. Terry, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to me on my channel. It's
my pleasure, Jack. Anytime. You're a good man. You do a good job.
Thank you.
And anytime you need something, give me a call.
You got it. I appreciate it.
All right.